the 11th and 12th centuries, Anatolia was under the weight of the massive Great Seljuk Empire and the ancient Byzantines. During the relatively stable period brought by the Seljuks, trade routes flourished, caravanserais overflowed, and science and culture thrived. However, the end of this era was approaching. In the endless steppes of the East, a new and ruthless power was born: the Mongols. In the 13th century, Mongol cavalry crushed everything in their path, ravaging the Middle East and Anatolia. This destructive wave completely collapsed the Seljuk authority. At the same time, the Crusades, coming from the west, gnawed at the Byzantine Empire from the inside, and the capital, Constantinople, was sacked. The once glorious powers now suffered from rebellions, civil wars, and endless invasions. Anatolia, once ruled from a single massive center, began to fragment, just like the fall of Rome. By the end of the 13th century, the peninsula had splintered into countless small Turkmen principalities, each trying to prove its own power. Political unity was lost, and Anatolia entered a period of total chaos and uncertainty. Yet, amidst this fragmented landscape, right at the edge of the weakening Byzantine borders, in the rugged mountains of Söğüt and Domaniç, there was a new movement. These were the Turkmens belonging to the Kayi tribe, placed in the frontier regions, driven by the spirit of Gaza, holy war, and gathered under the leadership of Osman Bey. Initially a small clan, they were a warrior group organizing cross-border raids. As the Byzantine central authority collapsed and the tekfurs, local governors, began acting independently, the Ottomans masterfully exploited this power vacuum. Left with no other options and trying to survive with mercenaries, Byzantium could not stop this new power pressing against its borders. Eventually, the supposedly impassable borders were breached. The Ottomans first reached the shores of the Marmara Sea, then crossed the Dardanelles to the European continent, beginning a relentless march into the heart of the Balkans. The kingdoms in the Balkans were politically and religiously fragmented. The Ottomans rapidly incorporated these lands, whether by the right of the sword or through their unique policy of tolerance, known as istimale. Instead of completely annihilating the local elites in the conquered territories, they integrated them into the new state mechanism.
Ottoman was now a world power.
However, the world had yet to meet one of the greatest commanders of all time. Fatih Sultan Mehmet, considered by many historians to be one of the 4 best commanders in the world, ascended to the Ottoman throne in 1451. To provide an example of how powerful a sultan the second Mehmet was, it is enough to mention that even someone who tried to defy him turned into a legend. The only reason the second Vlad, known today as Count Dracula, is told as a legend is because he was able to fight Fatih Sultan Mehmet and keep him occupied. By the spring of 1453, the young and visionary Sultan, Mehmed II, besieged that legendary city, the center of the world in the eyes of both East and West, Constantinople. This was no ordinary siege. It was an unprecedented act of military genius and a massive logistical operation. The city's 1,000-year-old Theodosian walls, thought to be impenetrable, began to be battered by massive bronze cannons called Shahi, basilic, which rewrote the military technology of the era. Cannonballs that shook the earth and sky tore huge breaches in the walls, but the desperate Byzantine defenders and Genoese mercenaries inside stubbornly repaired these gaps at night. To cut off the supply routes coming from the sea, massive fortresses had been erected on the Bosphorus, but the entrance to the Golden Horn, the heart of the city, was sealed off by a thick chain stretched across the water. The Byzantine fleet was safe behind this chain, and attacking the city from the sea seemed impossible. Right at that moment, the young sultan made a mind-boggling move that changed the fate of the war. On the night of April 21st to 22nd, Ottoman ships were hauled overland from the ridges of Galata, rolled over greased logs and massive pulleys, and lowered into the waters of the Golden Horn. Seeing the Ottoman fleet in their inner harbour, which they thought was safe with the first light of dawn, the morale of the defenders was shattered. Byzantium was now besieged from two fronts simultaneously. After a relentless war of attrition lasting 53 days, the order for the final assault was given before dawn on the morning of May 29th. Accompanied by the earth-shattering martial rhythms of the meter band, first the lightly armored Azaps, then the heavily armored Anatolian troops crashed against the walls in waves. At the most critical moment of the battle, the Janissaries, the elite strike force of the empire, stepped in and flooded into the city from the ruins around Topkapi. The clashes spilled into the narrow streets. The last Eastern Roman emperor, Constantine XI, fell fighting alongside his soldiers with sword in hand and faded into history.
With the fall of the city, the 1,000-year-old Eastern Roman Empire was permanently erased from the stage of history. This was a turning point as staggering as the fall of the Western Roman Empire. Taking the title of Kaiser I Rum, Caesar of Rome, beneath the dome of the Hagia Sophia, Sultan Mehmed the Conqueror melted the warrior, Turkish traditions of Central Asia, the unifying faith of Islam, and the 1,000-year statecraft of Byzantium in a single crucible. When those great walls connecting the continents fell, a city had not merely changed hands. The Middle Ages had closed, and a new era had begun. By the 16th century, the Ottoman Empire was experiencing a true golden age under the leadership of Suleiman the Magnificent. Much like Charlemagne uniting Europe, Suleiman marched on campaigns with his armies for decades. He pressed deep into Europe, reaching the gates of Vienna. He brought rival empires to their knees in the east, and brought North Africa and the Holy Lands under his dominion in the south. A flawlessly functioning central bureaucracy, a massive cavalry army composed of Timariot Sipahis, and the professional Janissaries, the most modern infantry unit of the era, formed the backbone of the empire. With the philosophy of Nizam-ı Alem, world order, Suleiman spread justice and law to the four corners of the empire. The ability to rule this colossal and multicultural empire from a single center, Topkapi Palace, was the greatest peak the Ottoman civilization ever reached. However, no peak lasts forever. From the late 16th century onwards, the axis of the world began to shift. As geographical discoveries in Europe brought the wealth of new continents to the Old World, transoceanic trade routes diminished the importance of the ancient silk and spice routes controlled by the Ottomans. While the Renaissance and scientific innovations took place in the West, defending the massive Ottoman borders with old methods was becoming increasingly impossible. Silver flowing from Europe triggered inflation, the value of currency plummeted, and long, costly wars deeply shook the imperial treasury. The traditional Ottoman cavalry units, once the masters of the battlefields, began to lose their effectiveness against Europe's New Order infantry armed with firearms. This new and deadly style of warfare required full-time, professional soldiers that cost massive amounts of cash. Consequently, the Timar system, the flawless agricultural and military order of the Ottomans, began to collapse. Peasants abandoned their lands, and the Kalali rebellions dragged Anatolia into chaos that would last for years. As the central state struggled to collect taxes and raise armies, it was forced to share its power with local authorities, the powerful elite families in the provinces known as Ayan. Just as feudal lords gained power in Europe, a period began in the Ottoman Empire where power shifted from the center to the local level. The empire was stepping into a painful struggle for survival that would last for centuries to halt the fragmentation of this colossal structure and keep up with the new modern world.